In this video, I will show you how to choose the right reason that proves that two triangles are congruent. We have 5 choices to choose from, and they are side, 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 angle, side, angle, side, angle, 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 side, and hypotenuse leg. I should mention 2 letter combinations that absolutely do not work. Angle, angle, angle does not prove two triangles are congruent. So never put that for an answer. Also, side, side angle. This does not prove triangles are congruent either. So be sure not to put either one of these 2 letter combinations as an answer. So let's look at problem number 9. Is there anything we can mark congruent that is not already marked? Notice the shared side CB. That will automatically be congruent for both triangles. Now focus on one triangle at a time. So, for example, focus on this yellow triangle. I'm noticing that this is a right triangle. Hypotenuse leg is something that only works for right triangles. All right, this is only for right triangles. That doesn't mean that every time I see a right angle, it will automatically be hypotenuse leg. But we should stop and ask ourselves, is it hypotenuse leg? First of all, understand that the hypotenuse is always across from the 90-degree angle. So this double mark right here represents the hypotenuse. All right, it is across from the 90-degree angle. So we have a hypotenuse, so it's looking good for hypotenuse leg so far. Hypotenuse, check. Now, what about leg? Leg means any other side of the right triangle other than the hypotenuse. And we have a leg right here that is also marked. So it turns out we have a hypotenuse and a leg. So this will be hypotenuse leg. So the congruency statement, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle what. So look at angle A first. A corresponds to angle D, so D must be first. Next comes B. Angle B corresponds with angle B in the other triangle. How can I make this clear? See how the yellow angle B is between the single and the double. Well, the white angle B is also between the single and the double. So that means B is going to correspond with angle B. And similarly, angle C will correspond with angle C. Look at problem number 10. Is there anything we can mark that's not already marked? The shared side will automatically be congruent for both triangles. Go ahead and focus your eyes on one triangle at a time. So focus on this yellow triangle. What type of information do we have? I'm noticing that we have 2 sides and an angle. So that means this will either be side, side, angle, or maybe it will be side, angle, side. So here's the difference. It will be side, angle, side only if the angle is between the 2 sides. If the angle is not between the 2 sides, then that is a side-side angle situation. But remember, side-side angle does not prove that triangles are congruent. So if this turns out to be a side-side angle situation, we are going to simply circle the triangles cannot be proven congruent. So Analyze the two sides. Trace them. Here's one side that's marked congruent. Here is another side that is marked congruent. The point where they meet shows you the angle that is between them. So they meet right here. That means that this angle is between these two sides. Is that the angle that is marked congruent? No. The angle that's marked congruent is way over here. So this angle is not between the two sides. That means this is a side-side angle situation. Whatever you do, do not put side-side angle right here. No! A common mistake is to write SSA on this line. But side-side angle does not prove triangles are congruent, so don't write it down at all. Instead, go ahead and just circle this. The triangles cannot be proven congruent. Make sure you don't write a congruence statement either. The triangles can't be proven congruent, so it wouldn't make sense to then make a congruency statement saying this triangle is definitely congruent to that triangle. No, we can't prove it, so leave both of these blank. Let's jump over to problem number 11. By now you're becoming an expert at this. What can I mark that is not already marked? I can surely mark the shared side as being congruent for both triangles. In addition to that, they give us a given statement. Segment BC bisects angle ABD. I want you to really focus on the angle ABD. That angle is up here, A to B to D. So that's the angle that is being bisected. Remember that bisect means cut in half. So that means that this part of the angle will be congruent to this part of the angle. Now focus your eyes on one triangle at a time. For example, look at this triangle. Ask yourself what type of information we are given. I see that we have two sides and an angle. That means this is either going to be side-side angle, or it will be side, angle, side. It all depends on whether or not the angle is between the two sides. If it is, then it's side, angle, side. However, if the angle is not between the two sides, then that makes this side-side angle. So trace the two sides that you're given so you can figure it out. Here's one side that we're given. Here's another side that we're given. They will meet at the angle that is between them. So notice that these two segments intersect right here. Is that where the marked angle is? Yes. You see that the angle that we have marked is between the two sides. That means that this is a side, angle, side situation. So we can go ahead and make the congruence statement. Triangle ABC is congruent to triangle what? Well, it's pretty clear that the yellow triangle and the white triangle are mirror images of each other. So A corresponds with D, so I'm going to put D first. And then angle B is just plain congruent to angle B from yellow to white. So B definitely comes next. And that only leaves angle C. Slide with me to problem number 12. What can we mark in this picture that is not already marked? Hopefully the first thing that jumps out at you is the shared side. That will be congruent for both triangles. Also, we have something that is being given. Segment BC bisects angle ACD. This looks really familiar to what we had last time. But last time it was angle ABD. Now this time it's angle ACD. that's going to change things. So let's really highlight that. Here's angle ACD. That is the angle that is being bisected. Bisect means cut in half. So this part of the angle will be congruent to this part of the angle. Now focus your eyes on one triangle at a time, like you do. All right, let's look at this yellow triangle. And let's think about what type of information we have. I see that we have two sides and an angle. So that means that this will either be side-side angle, all right, because I have two sides and an angle, or maybe it's side, angle, side, which also involves two sides and an angle. The way I will know the difference is if the angle is between the two sides, then that makes it side, angle, side. However, if the angle is off to the side, if the angle is not between the two sides, then it will be side-side angle. But remember, side-side angle proves nothing. So we will never put that on the line. Instead, if it turns out to be side-side angle, we will circle the triangles cannot be proven congruent. So which is it? Well, trace the two sides, and that will help. So here's one side that is marked congruent. Here is another side that is marked congruent. They will always meet at the angle that is between them. So notice that they meet right here. Is this the angle that was marked congruent? No, that angle is way over here. So the angle that is marked congruent is not between the two sides. So that means that this is a side-side angle situation, which means that the triangles cannot be proven congruent. Leave both of these blank. Okay. Look at problem number 13. What can we mark that is not already marked? Well, the shared side. That will be congruent for both triangles. Now analyze the given. BC bisects angle ABD. It's really important that you highlight the correct angle. Angle ABD is this angle over here, from A to B to D. Bisect means cut in half, which means that this portion of the angle is congruent to this portion of the angle. Now focus your eyes on one triangle at a time. So let's focus on this triangle. What type of information are we given? We seem to have two sides and an angle. So this might be side-side angle, or it might be side, angle, side. If the angle is between the two sides, then it will be side, angle, side. However, if the angle is not between the two sides, then it is side, side, angle. If it is side, side, angle, we will not write that down. We will circle that the triangles cannot be proven congruent. So, I recommend tracing the two sides. So here is one side that is congruent, and here's the other side that is marked congruent. Look where they meet. They meet right here. Is that the angle that is marked? It is. That means that the angle is between the two sides. That makes this side, angle, side. We can now go ahead and write the congruence statement. Triangle ABC is congruent to triangle what? Well, the yellow triangle and the white triangle are mirror images of each other. So A corresponds with D, and B corresponds with B. That's why they're marked congruent as well. And then, of course, C will correspond with C. All right, a few more. let's look at problem number 14. What can we mark that is not already marked? The shared side will be congruent for both triangles. In addition to that, we have this information that is given. Segment BC bisects angle ACD. This is not the same angle as the last problem. ACD goes from here to here. Bisect means cut in half. So that means that this portion of the angle is congruent to this portion of the angle. So take a step back and focus on one triangle at a time. So for example, focus on this triangle. What type of information are we given? It looks like we have two sides and an angle. So maybe this is side-side angle, or maybe this is side, angle, side. It depends on whether or not the angle is between the two sides. If the angle is between the two sides, then it is side, angle, side. On the other hand, if the angle is off to the side, in other words, if the angle is not between the two sides, then it is a side-side angle situation. But side-side angle proves nothing. So if that's the case, we will not put it on the line. Instead, we will circle the triangles cannot be proven congruent. To decide which one it is, I recommend highlighting the sides. So here is one side that is marked congruent. Here is the other side that is marked congruent. Look where those two sides meet. They meet right here. This is the angle between the two sides. Is that the angle that is marked? No, the angle that's marked is way over here. So the marked angle is not between the two sides. That means this is a side-side angle situation. Careful, don't write SSA on the line. It proves nothing. Instead, circle that the triangles cannot be proven congruent. Don't even write anything for the congruent statement. We just said the triangles can't be proven congruent. So don't go and say, this triangle is congruent to something. That would be silly. Let's do two more problems. Hopefully by now you're becoming expert at this. What can I mark that has not already been marked? You're thinking, oh, that shared side, of course, will be congruent for both triangles. What else? We are given some additional information right here. BC bisects angle ABD. It really matters which angle is being bisected. So we really have to pay attention to the fact that angle ABD is this angle over here. Bisect means to cut in half. So this angle is going to be congruent to this angle. You know what? We already have a single swoop, so let's mark these with a double swoop. Okay, so those will be congruent. Now let's focus on one triangle at a time. And let's ask ourselves what type of information we are being given. I see that we have two angles and a side. So maybe this is angle, angle, side. But it also could be angle, side, angle, which also involves two angles and a side. The way we will know the difference is if the side is between the two angles. That's what would make it angle, side, angle. On the other hand, if the side is off to the side, if the side is not between the two angles, then this will be angle, angle, side. So to decide which it is, focus on the two angles that were given. So here's one angle that is marked congruent, and here is the other angle that's marked. The side between them will be the side that connects the dots. So this is the side between the two angles. Is this the side that is marked congruent? No. the side that's marked is way over here. So that means that the side is not between the two angles, which means this is angle, angle, side. Now it's time for the congruence statement. Triangle ABC is congruent to triangle. You can tell that the yellow and the white are mirror images of each other. So angle A corresponds with angle D. Angle B, the yellow angle B corresponds with the white angle B. And that just leaves angle C. Okay, last one. Problem number 16. What can we mark that is not already marked? The shared side, of course. So, what else? We are given some information right here. Be very careful about which angle is being bisected. Angle ACD. This is angle ACD over here. This is the angle that is being split in half. Bisect means cut in half. So this side of the angle, let's use a double swoop since the single swoop is already taken. So this portion should be congruent to this portion. Now let's go back and focus on one triangle at a time. All right, focus on this yellow triangle. Okay, what type of information are we given? I see that we have two angles and a side. So this is either going to be angle, angle, side, or maybe it will be angle, side, angle. The way we will tell is if the side is between the two angles, that will make this angle, side, angle. On the other hand, if the side is off to the side, if the side is not between the two angles, then it will be angle, angle, side. So look at the two angles that you are given, the two angles that are marked. All right, this one is marked and this one is marked. If you connect the dots, it will show you the side that is between these two angles. So here's the side that's between the two marked angles. Is that the side that is marked congruent? No. The side that's marked congruent is way over here. So the congruent side is not between the angles. That means this is an angle, angle, side situation. All right, the congruence statement is going to be the same as it's been for many other problems. Again, at a glance, you can tell that the yellow triangle and the white triangle are reflections of each other. And the swoops help you out also. So angle A corresponds with angle D. So A is first, so that means D is first. Okay, angle B is the only angle that's blank, and it's blank in the yellow triangle and the white triangle. So that means B corresponds with B. And see how both angles C have the double swoop? So that means the yellow angle C and the white angle C are also corresponding.